I'm Chris, scientist, intuitive coach, author, and illustrator, and I'm here to help you transform and grow and to alchemize the lead in your life into gold with joy, ease, and fun because you're here to live the life you love. Why does my channel have this name? Because it's in my human design, and I love to bring structure into complex things. I often have an inner knowing and a deep understanding of something that is initially hard to translate into words. But these simple visuals allow things to land with ease. The right timing for sharing my insights is essential though, therefore don't expect a rigid upload schedule, but subscribe if you want to be informed when new clips land. And now let's dive into today's episode and create some magic together. Welcome to my brand new channel. I'm so excited to record this for you. I would almost say I'm nervous, but in this premiere episode, we will be diving into the very important topic of how to stay grounded in your own energy, in your own vibe, when you're confronted with someone else's energies. And this is for everybody, really, but I feel it could be especially beneficial for empaths because I feel that empaths tend to pick up energies and emotions from others, especially easily and quickly, because we tend to really tune into the field of someone else's, really step into their shoes when we're not careful and conscious. And so we pick up stuff that is not really ours to digest and integrate. And sometimes this can even go so far as to picking up symptoms that others share with you. Like when someone, this happened to me when the kids were still in kindergarten, when someone says there's lice and your scalp directly starts itching. And if that's the case, today's episode is for you. And I promise, no lice. So I thought that staying grounded in a high vibe when you're confronted with lower vibrations is a really good starting point for this channel with everything that's going on politically, globally, ecologically, really everywhere. There's so much anger, so much fear, so much, what's the word? Can't think of it. Like opposite ends. And such big gaps between people. And that just makes it really even more important for those of us who are able to stay grounded in the high vibrations of joy and compassion and hope and love. Because what good would it be for the whole planet if everybody just felt fear and anger and guilt and shame anymore? But that's a whole different topic that I will dive into in another video. Today, we are looking at just one person getting into your field. And because we just had re-elections here in Germany, I will take the example of a political discussion, but it could equally be just watching the news or any other conversation or situation that possibly triggers you. But for now, imagine you meet someone who is at what feels like the opposite end of the political landscape than you are. And imagine they have a very strong opinion, which they voice in a way that feels aggressive and possibly almost intrusive to you if you're sensitive. And as an empath, what can easily happen is that you are open to their energies and you pick that up. And in the next video, I will address that and will show you and teach you what you can do in a situation like that when you did pick up that energy. But today, let's imagine that you notice early enough and you become aware of how their energy is affecting you. Option one would be to leave the situation, which I often hear as a recommendation, but imagine you stayed. Imagine you knew how to stay grounded and you stayed in this situation. So what you can do, what I do, is to simply leave the emotional level and go to what's called the meta level, rise above the situation. And what I do, what makes it very easy for me, is that I describe to myself what's happening in that situation, just in a couple of sentences and without any emotions, kind of like a police report, if you will. And if you're safe in this situation, you can simply stay present and see if you can listen to actually understand the other person without feeling pushed to take on their perspective, because that's often what happens to empaths, that we feel triggered to take on a different opinion that is pushed on us because it feels so forceful, but that's really not what needs to happen, right? What needs to happen is that the other person is listened to and possibly understood. So try to let them be who they are and notice what they are maybe afraid of. And maybe you can even understand their fears. Maybe you can even share the fears. They just act differently and voice them differently than you do or you would. And the very surprising thing is that often you don't even have to say anything. You don't even have to respond. You don't have to agree or disagree. Simply being present and listening is really often all that is necessary. And because high vibrations entrain low vibrations, it's, as you may recall from physics classes in school, chances are that by staying grounded in your higher vibration like this, that their energy is actually affected by yours rather than vice versa if you get drawn in. Because lower vibrations cannot lower a higher vibration unless you allow it to. And I invite you to try this out. But keep in mind that this is a practice, really, and it takes awareness. Therefore, cut yourself some slack if it doesn't work out right away. Especially in the beginning, this can feel really strange. I know it felt very strange to me, because when you're not used to not merging your energy with someone else's, it can feel a bit cold and as if you're uncaring. But it's the opposite. It's the absolute opposite. And with this practice, I want you to know that you will be doing a very precious work, because if there's one thing that I feel we need in the world right now, then it's the high vibration of love and joy and hope and faith and compassion. And next time I will show you, as I said, what I do and teach my clients when I do not manage to be in that meta level and I did pick up energies from others, when I did not realize early enough that I was merging fields. So see you next time in this channel.